Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's episode is going to be, I guess, sort of answering the question to the answer we already know about the food shortage. So in my last video, I asked, is the food shortage coming? That we need to stay positive. So we still need to stay positive, but upon further research, food shortage is coming. So it's not if, it's not when, it's how bad it's going to get. That's the bigger question now. So now that we know there's a food shortage coming, and listen, even in the last video I sort of knew, but I wanted to, I guess, not give hope, but just put everyone's minds at ease. But like I said, upon further research, I found out that there's a lot more going on around the world than we actually know, because the mainstream media is not pushing or not talking about it as much, because they rather talk about racial riots and shit like that. Anyway, let's get into this food shortage shit. So there is a definite food shortage on the way. Now keep in mind, for things that happen on other parts of the world, it does affect us here. So things that are going on in China, it affects us here. Things that are going on in Thailand, Vietnam, it does affect us here. So the other thing that affects us, guys, are consequences. Consequences with messing with other countries. Consequences with putting our foot down with other countries. It affects us. So one of the consequences I'm talking about is China. The bullshit we're going through with China right now, they're withholding some of their imports. With that, the aluminum that we get from them, which is a large quantity, but not all, is starting to rear its ugly head. So we're having an aluminum can shortage, which means packing of foods are going to be a little more scarce until we figure out a way or an alternative to packing food. Now, plastic bags, not a good idea. Glass jars, let's go back to the way we used to do it. And we'll see some tin, but not a lot. So now, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this conversation. Now, like I said, that we have a food shortage coming, we're going to see certain effects on this side of the world. That being said, keep prepping. I'm going to say it 1,000 times, guys. Keep preparing. If you're watching this video now, stop and go shopping. Or watch it on your phone while you go shopping. You choose. But nonetheless, it's going to get ugly, the food shortage, because now it's a global problem. It's not just an American thing or Chinese or Russian. It's a global problem. Lebanon was having an issue with a food shortage before the explosion 2 weeks ago. That explosion took out their silos, which held wheat, which was something like 43% of their food. I guess, you know, making breads and things like that. So that's one problem. The other problem is China. We are seeing epic flooding in China, and China's crops are being washed away with these floodings. Now, a lot of the problems in China are they've been having heavy rains, a lot of storms, and their dams are starting to give away because of the overabundance of water. Plus, their dams were built years ago, probably back in the 50s, mid to late 50s, and now they're starting to go. Now, they're going to run into a food crisis as well, because their rice, their wheat, their corn, and other crops are being washed away. One of the areas that was washed away was Paigan Lake, and that supplied 70% of the rice in China for Chinese. So that's going to be a problem, because, again, now they're out, right? And they're out amongst other crops, again, wheat and corn. So they're going to see a food crisis, and they're trying to head it off. Now, they're doing calculations, but they're not telling us how bad their food crisis is. And they'd rather probably starve than ask for help for the U.S. Iowa had a storm a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, and that storm washed away 10 million acres of crop. And with that, it was also, 43% of their crops. So they just lost a lot of food in that state. Again, guys, now another state's going to have to help them out, which is going to deplete whatever neighboring state's going to help them. Not deplete, but it's going to dip into their stores as well. So we're starting to see this food shortage thing roll itself out, right? And it's now a global thing. So though people were worried about the United States and us losing food, if other parts of the world lose food, what does that mean for us? That means we're going to start being affected as well. That means before that hammer drops for us, we need to go out and continue to prep and continue to store food away. Now, North Korea, big fucking problem. They're having a food crisis as well. You know what their food crisis is? They're running out of food. And we know this because they're asking for citizens and the elite to hand over their pets for meat, right? And Jin Kam Yoon, or whatever the fuck that dude's name is, he said that having a dog as a pet implies capitalism or something to that effect. I had to read that statement a few times and I was a little confused. So he thinks because you have a dog that means it's capitalism, that means you're doing very well. So let's take your dogs and eat them. They're hungry. Listen, North Korea went through this before. They had a whole starvation thing, I don't know, 20, 30 years back, and now they're entering it again. It's becoming a problem. So now North Korea is suffering. China would have helped them out, but China lost their crops, right? So what is this going to look like? This global food crisis is going to turn into a thing, and it's going to be the ugliest thing we've ever seen. So keep canning, keep buying food, keep buying canned goods. Try to find canning supplies. If you find canning supplies and you have enough, let other people know, especially your neighbors or people who are into this. Guys, this is the time for us to look out for each other even more. So while we're looking for out for each other even more, we got to accept responsibility in protecting other preppers and hell, just your neighbors, right? Because this is what we do. You know, we told people that they should prep years ago. They laughed at us. Now a lot of people are jumping on board. That's good. Let's continue to help them and not leave them stranded. All right, guys, so anyway, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also like and subscribe to my... All right, guys, so this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. And other than that, guys, see you in the next video.